This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi with the evening news. The headline. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India is committed to resolve the current border issue with China through a fair and peaceful manner and at the same time prepared to deal with all contingencies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate Kosi Mega Bridge to the nation along with 12 rail projects in Bihar tomorrow. Seva Saptah is being organized across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. World leaders wish Mr. Modi on the occasion. Minister for Food Processing Industries Harsimrat Singh Kaur Badal resigns in protest of Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Bill 2020. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 78.64%. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian killed in an encounter at Batmallu area in Srinagar. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today said that India is committed to resolve the current border issue with China through a fair and peaceful manner, and at the same time, the country is also prepared to deal with all contingencies. He said China is trying to change the status quo at the line of actual control, which is unacceptable to India at any condition. The Defence Minister was making a statement in the Rajya Sabha on the development on border in Ladakh region.
किसी को भी हमारी सीमा की सुरक्षा के प्रति हमारे दृढ़ निश्चय यानी डिटर्मिनेशन के बारे में संदेह नहीं होना चाहिए। वहीं भारत यह भी मानता है कि पड़ोसियों के साथ शांतिपूर्ण संबंधों के लिए आपसी सम्मान और संवेदनशीलता भी यह रखना आवश्यक है।
Mr. Singh said the current situation is very different, both in terms of scale of troops involved and the number of friction points. He said the conduct of Indian forces throughout the standoff shows that while they maintained patience in face of provocative actions, they also equally displayed valor when required to protect territorial integrity of the country.
चीन द्वारा एक बहुत ही वायलेंट फेस आउट की स्थिति 15 जून को गलवान में क्रिएट की है। हमारे बहादुर सिपाहियों ने, बहादुर जवानों ने अपनी जान का बलिदान दिया, पर साथ ही चीनी पक्ष को भी भारी क्षति पहुंचाई है और अपनी सीमा की सुरक्षा में कामयाब भी रहे। इस पूरी अवधि के दौरान हमारे बहादुर जवानों ने जहां संयम की जरूरत थी वहां संयम रखा और जहां शौर्य की जरूरत थी वहां शौर्य का भी प्रदर्शन किया। मैं सदन से यह अनुरोध करता हूं कि हमारे सैनिकों की वीरता एवं बहादुरी की भूरी भूरी प्रशंसा की जानी चाहिए। हमारे बहादुर जवान अत्यंत मुश्किल परिस्थितियों में अपने अथक प्रयास से समस्त देशवासियों को सुरक्षित रखने के अपने दायित्व का निर्वहन कर रहे हैं।
The Defence Minister added that Chinese actions reflect a disregard to various bilateral agreements and amassing of the troops by China goes against the 1993 and 1996 agreements.
चीन की कार्रवाई से हमारे विभिन्न द्विपक्षीय समझौतों के प्रति उसका डिसरिगार्ड दिखता है। चीन द्वारा ट्रूप्स की भारी मात्रा में तैनाती किया जाना 1993 और 1996 के समझौतों का उल्लंघन है। एलएसी का सम्मान करना और उसका कड़ाई से पालन किया जाना सीमा क्षेत्रों में शांति और सद्भाव का यह आधार है और इसे 1993 और 1996 के समझौतों में स्पष्ट रूप से स्वीकार भी किया गया है, जबकि हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस इसका पूरी तरह से पालन करती हैं। चाइनीज साइड की ओर से ऐसा नहीं हुआ।
Mr. Singh said China in the last many decades undertook significant infrastructure construction activity to enhance its deployment capabilities in the border areas. The minister added that the Indian government has doubled the budget for border infrastructure development. He said China continues to be in illegal occupation of around 38,000 square kilometers in Ladakh, and Pakistan illegally ceded 5,180 square kilometers of Indian territory in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to China. Mr. Singh said border issues are a complex matter and both India and China have accepted that peace is essential for bilateral ties. Later, leaders cutting across party lines spoke in one voice against the Chinese aggression and reiterated their commitment to support the government and the armed forces. Leader of the opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said Congress is committed to protect the unity and integrity of the country. P. Wilson of DMK and Ravi Prakash Verma of Samajwadi Party also extended their support to the government. India has said that the Chinese side should sincerely work with the Indian side for complete disengagement at the earliest from all fiction areas, including Pangong Lake, as well as de-escalation in border areas. Briefing media virtually this evening, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said New Delhi hopes that the Chinese side will strictly respect and observe the line of actual control and not make further attempts to unilaterally change status quo. He said India is committed to a peaceful dialogue with the Chinese side, including through diplomatic and military channels. The External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Moscow on the 10th of September after the meeting of defense ministers on 4th September. There was consensus between the ministers of the two sides during both the meetings that there should be quick and complete disengagement of troops from all friction areas along the LAC. The External Affairs Ministry today said it has taken up the matter of Zhenhua data leak with the Chinese side. Replying to a media query, MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said, according to the Chinese side, the company is a private entity and there is no connection between it and the Chinese government. The spokesperson said the government has constituted an expert committee under the National Cyber Security Coordinator to study these reports, evaluate their implications, assess any violation of law and submit its recommendations within 30 days. India has welcomed the Abraham Accord between Israel, UAE, Bahrain and the US. MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said India has always supported peace and stability in West Asia. He said India also continues the traditional support for the Palestinian cause and hopes for early resumption of direct negotiations for an acceptable two-state solution. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate the historic Kosi Rail Mega Bridge to the nation through video conference tomorrow. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate 12 rail projects related to passenger facilities for the benefit of Bihar. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar will also be present on this occasion. The 1.9-kilometer long Kosi Mega Bridge has been completed at a total cost of 516 crore rupees. With the construction of the bridge, the rail distance between Nirmali and Saraigarh would come down from the present 298 kilometers to 22 kilometers. The bridge connects Mithila and Kosi region and is of strategic importance along the Indo-Nepal border. It would also make it easy for long-distance travel to Kolkata, Delhi and Mumbai. The Prime Minister will also flag off a demo train from Supol railway station on the Saharsa-Adampur-Kupaha section. Among the 12 other projects to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister are 2 new railway lines, 5 electrification projects, 1 electric locomotive shed and the 3rd line project between Bar and Bakhtiarpur. Welfare activities were organized across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday, who turned 70 today. Bharatiya Janata Party has organized a week-long Seva Saptah to celebrate the PM's birthday. Several programs related to cleanliness, distribution of sanitary pads and wheelchairs and social service are being organized from the 14th to the 20th of this month across the country. President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu have greeted the Prime Minister on his birthday. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan have also extended birthday greetings to Mr. Modi. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today extended birthday wishes to the Prime Minister on behalf of all the members of the House. On the occasion of Prime Minister Modi's birthday, people from different walks of life also shared their views.
मैंने उज्ज्वला गैस नहीं रहे अब गैस दिलक उकर से बहुत किसान के टाइम से खाना बनाते है उकर बादे में अपन छुआ पुता के स्कूल भेजत हैं
मोदी जी ने हमारा भारत के लिए बहुत कुछ किया है हमारा देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है.
World leaders have also wished Prime Minister on his birthday. Russian President Vladimir Putin, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli wished the Prime Minister through Twitter. All India Radio will broadcast a special program called Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi, Naye Bharat Ki Nayi Soch at 9:15 p.m. this evening on FM News Channel. The program is being aired on the occasion of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. Union Minister for Food Processing Industries Harsimrat Badal has resigned in protest against the Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers' Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. Ms. Harsimrat Badal belongs to the Shiromani Akali Dal. It is reported that the Union Minister had sent her resignation to the Prime Minister. The government today said the country's recovery rate among COVID-19 patients has reached 78.64%. During the last 24 hours, more than 82,000 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has reached over 40,25,000. The constantly increasing recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 19.73% of the total positive cases. It said the active cases of COVID-19 in the country are less than 1/5 of the total cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 10,09,000. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.63%, which is one of the lowest globally. In the last 24 hours, 1,132 deaths have been reported, taking the toll to 83,198. According to the ICMR, the total number of samples tested so far has reached over 6 crore 5 lakh. The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation BMC is making a continuous effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the city. At the same time, in order to provide more effective treatment to the patients suffering from COVID infection, the municipal corporation has started jumbo COVID centers at various places. These mainly include the jumbo COVID facilities at Baikola, NSCI Worli, BKC, Nesco Goregaon, Mulund and the Hisar areas. The civic body today said that specialist doctors from private hospitals will provide telephonic services to these jumbo facilities. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation is consistently working towards providing reliable and quality services to the patients admitted in these jumbo COVID centers. Keeping this in view, 35 specialist doctors working in 11 private hospitals will now make their services available to the Municipal Corporation's jumbo COVID centers through telephone. They will also visit these treatment centers as and when required and consult with the doctors there regarding medical treatment. Provision has also been made to increase the number of medical staff in these centers as per the need. Till 15 September, 20,722 COVID-infected patients have been treated in these treatment centers. Sweetie Jain, AR News, Mumbai.
Kerala today reported the biggest spike in its COVID-19 cases. For the first time, over 4,000 cases were reported in one day as it confirmed 4,531 positive cases. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, addressing the media in Thiruvananthapuram today, said that the situation in the state is getting very serious. He urged the people to strictly abide to the COVID protocols. Mr. Vijayan further said that in the ongoing protest by the opposition across the state demanding the resignation of Minister K.T. Jalil, there is violation of COVID guidelines which is being viewed seriously. Meanwhile, Thiruvananthapuram district continued to be worst hit as it confirms 820 cases today. 10 deaths were also confirmed today due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 489. 2,737 recoveries were also reported in the state today. The active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 34,314. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has been discharged from AIIMS Delhi. He was admitted in the hospital on the 13th of this month for a complete medical checkup. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian were killed in an encounter with the security forces at Batmallu area on the outskirts of Srinagar city today. Police said a joint team of security forces comprising J&K Police and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation in Batmallu following intelligence inputs about the presence of terrorists in the area. As the joint team approached the suspected spot, terrorists fired upon them that resulted in an encounter. The 3 terrorists who were killed have been identified as locals hailing from South Kashmir. Arms and ammunition have also been recovered from their possession. A 45-year-old woman was also killed in the crossfiring and a CRPF deputy commandant was critically injured and was shifted to hospital for treatment. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has expressed anguish and shock at the untimely demise of Rajya Sabha MP Ashok Gasti. In a tweet, Mr. Singh said the departed leader was known for his passion for social service and worked at the grassroots to strengthen the BJP. He said his thoughts are with the bereaved family and supporters in this hour of grief. Benchmark domestic stocks today lost around 0.8%, snapping 2 days winning rally amid negative global cues. The Sensex at Bombay Stock Exchange declined 323 points or 0.82% to close at 38,980. The Nifty at National Stock Exchange also fell 88 points or 0.76% to settle at 11,516. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at @AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio.
And now it's over to R.S. Raghu for a review of today's proceedings in the Parliament.
Now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from Rajya Sabha. Writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has expressed hope that India will be ready with vaccine to prevent COVID-19 virus. He underlined the need for breaking the chain of transmission of the virus by wearing masks and maintaining social distancing. Responding to a discussion on COVID-19 situation in the country in the Rajya Sabha today, the Health Minister said that over the last 7 to 8 months, the whole country has been fighting the battle against the coronavirus together with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Health Minister said 64 lakh migrant labourers were sent to their respective states through railways during the pandemic. He said since 8th of January, the Prime Minister, Central Ministers, Chief Ministers and State Health Ministers have been addressing the situation together. Dr. Harshvardhan said that all types of advisories and details were issued by the government even before the first case of COVID-19 in the country was reported on 30th of January 2020. The Health Minister said that history will remember Prime Minister Narendra Modi for meticulously monitoring the entire situation himself. He said that in order to mitigate the economic situation due to the unprecedented pandemic, several packages were announced by the Prime Minister. This includes the 20,000 lakh crore rupees package under Atmanirbhar Bharat. He said insurance scheme was devised for healthcare workers. Later the House took up the Zero Hour. Vishwambar Prasad Nishad of Samajwadi Party raised the issue of job vacancies in reserved government sectors. And Gokul Krishnan of AIADMK said recommendations made in Mandal Commission report had been implemented only on paper, leading to apprehension among scheduled caste and scheduled tribes about their future. Lieutenant General retired DP Butts of BJP said the frontline corona warriors be given gallantry awards at par with the ones granted to the military. Shakti Singh Gohil of the Congress expressed concern on radio callers put on Asiatic lions in Gir forest which have led to increasing death rate. Responding to this, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu said the issue will be looked into by the government. Resuming discussion on COVID-19 situation, Swapan Dasgupta, a nominated member, wanted to know from the government what was the scientific basis for imposing a lockdown. Sanjay Raut of Shiv Sena said that the state government successfully arrested the spread of the virus in the heavily populated Dharavi by following the protocol of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Praful Patel of the NCP said that though officials are saying that there is no shortage of oxygen cylinders and remdesivir drug, the ground reality is different. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena said that it was disappointing to see an MP politicizing the pandemic issue despite saying it should not be politicized. She alleged that the states are being treated unfairly as it is being deprived of funds. She said that more than 1 million children have missed crucial immunization. Binoy Viswam of CPI said Kerala played an exemplary role in fighting COVID-19 right from the beginning. G.K. Vasan of Tamil Manila Congress, talking about Tamil Nadu's coronavirus response, said the state is effectively tackling the pandemic by taking all the proactive steps. Veer Singh of the BSP said that unemployment has increased due to COVID-19 and the centre's lockdown without any preparations had affected the poor the most. V. Vijay Sai Reddy of YSRCP lauded the centre's approach of balancing life and livelihood post-unlock stage. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP, responding to the criticism of diya lighting clapping, said many people have a problem with lighting of diyas and banging thalis as they are not aware of the history. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad alleged that the government lost the golden months in addressing the pandemic. He He said that former Congress President Rahul Gandhi had warned of a tsunami that was about to hit the country. Citing his experience as the health minister in 2019 to 2014 cabinet, Mr. Azad said that he had taken the first shot of the H1N1 vaccine that was developed by India in 2010. M. Thambidurai of AIADMK pleaded with the centre to allocate 9,000 crore rupees to Tamil Nadu for tackling COVID. Rajiv Chandrasekhar of the BJP said the opposition and the government should work together to solve this. Instead of making petty allegations, he said the lockdown was unambiguously necessary. He said lockdowns are necessary tools for government and will be there intermittently till a vaccine is available. Sanjay Raut of Shiv Sena said the government's move to privatize Jawaharlal Nehru Port will lead to a loss to the country's exchequer as land and property worth crores of rupees will pass on to the private hands. He said that the project be reconsidered. Dr. Ami Yajnik of the Congress raised issue of patients who suffered from non-communicable diseases and were unable to get treatment for non-COVID diseases as the focus is on COVID-19. Ravi Prakash Verma of Samajwadi Party raised the matter of floods along the Indo-Nepal border. He said that the government should take up the matter considering the adverse impact it has on the Indian villages. Nabam Rebia of the BJP said Arunachal Pradesh attained statehood in 1987 but has not been given constitutional protection yet. He said the government should consider the Arunachal Pradesh government's demand for its inclusion in the 6th schedule of the constitution. Vivek Thakur of the BJP said that there are 3 companies working on COVID-19 vaccines that come from the country of the origin of a virus. He questioned whether India should entertain it. Mir Mohammad Fayaz of the PDP raised the issue of political leaders in Jammu and Kashmir being under arrest for over a year after Article 370 was abrogated. He asked the government to release those who are still under detention. Surendra Singh Nagar of BJP raised the issue of non-inclusion by the Jammu and Kashmir administration of the 3rd most spoken language, Gurjari, in its list of official languages. The House then took up special mentions made by the members. K.C. Venugopal of the Congress asked for a probe into Facebook's interference into India's electoral democracy. Ripun Bora of the Congress said NEET and JEE exams should be held again as many students could not attend due to COVID-19 pandemic, while Satish Chand Dubey of the BJP raised the issue of floods in Bihar every year. V. Vijay Sai Reddy of YSR Congress asked for special trains in Andhra Pradesh. Meanwhile, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu said that the members should follow special protocols on the COVID-19 pandemic, including compulsory face masks. After the discussion on COVID situation, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh made a statement in the House on the situation along line of actual control, including the Galwan Valley clash and Ladakh standoff. He blamed China for the situation in Ladakh. It was Chinese army that provoked the Indian army, he said. After China has upped its infrastructure along the border, we have also ramped up our infrastructure, he said. He lauded IDBP for its role in protecting the border. The Defence Minister said that India remains committed to resolving the current issues in our border areas through peaceful dialogue and consultations. After the statement, Chairman Mr. Naidu said that an impression should not be created that there are differences of opinion in the country on border situation. India's culture has always preached Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have never attacked any country, he said, adding that some international media have written about religious conflicts. We are all united, Mr. Naidu said. The chairman asked the Defence Minister to call for a meeting of the leaders of all parties to brief on them the situation along the border and take them into confidence. A.K. Antony of the Congress hoped that the government would protect the borders of the country. He said that the nation is totally with the armed forces. Galwan Valley was never a disputed site. Now our soldiers are not allowed to patrol the areas they used to earlier. We should be allowed to patrol Galwan Valley, said Mr. Antony. Leader of the opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said that the country is one when it comes to integrity and sovereignty. China should return to where they were earlier, he said. Responding to the opinions of members, Rajnath Singh said he was happy over the unity in the House. With that, it's back to you, Anubha.
Thank you, Raghu, for an overview of today's proceedings in Parliament. And in some more news, Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that the northeastern states have a great opportunity for economic resurgence in the post-corona period. Talking exclusively to AIR, Dr. Singh asserted that post-COVID-19, the Northeast will play an important role in the resurgence of the economy. He said that the Northeast has unlimited potential in several sectors, including bamboo, tourism, handloom and handicraft, among others. Dr. Singh added that as Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, the Northeast is going to be the growth engine of New India. The minister mentioned that Atmanirbhar Northeast would lead to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today virtually conferred the second Utkrisht Sansthan Vishwakarma Award in 14 categories to institutions under AICTE on the occasion of Vishwakarma Divas. The award aims to motivate, recognize and honor the AICTE approved institutions to raise their performance in the specific domain, leading to significant contribution for the growth and development of the society. The External Affairs Ministry has said all 7 Indian nationals kidnapped in Afghanistan in May 2018 have been brought back home safely. Replying to a media query, MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said that the last remaining Indian national was released from captivity in Afghanistan and returned to India on the 12th of this month. He conveyed India's thanks to the Afghanistan government for the assistance extended over the past 2 years in securing the release of all 7 Indian nationals. On the Kulbhushan Jadhav case, the spokesperson said Pakistan has not been able to fulfill its obligations to implement ICJ judgment in the case in its letter and spirit. He said the basic issues they need to address include provision of relevant documents and providing unimpeded consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature will be around 28 degrees Celsius and maximum 38 degrees. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be around 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 26 and 33 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature is expected to be around 28 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 35 degrees. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 36 degrees with mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, minimum temperature will be around 12 degrees and maximum will be around 30 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 15 and 29 degrees Celsius. It will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 18 and 34 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunder shower or dust storm. In Chandigarh, there will be partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. The city will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India is committed to resolve the current border issue with China through a fair and peaceful manner and at the same time prepared to deal with all contingencies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate Kosi Mega Bridge to the nation along with 12 rail projects in Bihar tomorrow. Seva Saptah is being organized across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. World leaders wish Mr. Modi on the occasion. Minister for Food Processing Industries Harsimrat Kaur Badal resigns in protest against Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Bill 2020. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 78.64%. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian killed in an encounter at Batmallu area in Srinagar. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on Air app.